Hi guys, we're back with another Higurashi Chapter 2 part. There was no way I'd be able to sleep. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. Damn it. This is no time for sleep, Keiichi Maibara. I slapped myself in the face a few times. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I usually didn't do. That wasn't enough either, so I even brushed my teeth. After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mom saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide. What's wrong, Keiichi? Are you going somewhere today? Going somewhere? Yeah, to school. Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good today. Do you have a cold? I'm not sick, I just didn't get much sleep. If I space out and start talking nonsense, just humor me. I wonder what kind of nonsense you'll say, I wonder. Now I'm looking forward to it. How? I felt utterly shattered, and I still hadn't picked myself back up this morning. And for precisely that reason, Reina's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes. Yo, what's up, Kei-chan, Reina? Good morning. What? Mi-chan, you look like you didn't get much sleep either. Mion had gone home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in her shadow. Yeah, I went to bed at like 3. I'm a little tired. 3? Hey now, you can't be staying up late. You probably read the first volume of a manga and thought it was interesting, then read the entire series, didn't you? I understand, I've done that before. I joked. Oh, sorry, Keiichi voice. I joked trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was just trying to be considerate. However, neither Mion nor Reina smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention. Reina's expression immediately darkened. What? Wait, is it about the mayor? He still hasn't been found? Nope. Hey, wait a minute. What are you two talking about? You can't find the mayor. Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today. Good morning, Keiichi-san. Have you heard? It looks like something terrible has happened. I don't really know this mayor person, but he's an old guy, right? Couldn't you just be wandering around senile? The mayor is certainly not senile. He's a sprightly man who can teach both calligraphy and swordsmanship. He probably got lost somewhere like me. A lost Rika? Oh, I want to take you home with me. Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika-chan do it. A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. While my mind entertained dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone rushed to their seats. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Some of you may have already heard, but last night, despite the late hour, the mayor never came home. Is there anyone here who saw the mayor yesterday? One or two hands went up in the silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst themselves. If anyone has seen the mayor, please tell an adult about it, all right? Now then, let's begin class. After that, the same old lessons began. The rumors once quieted blossomed in flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came out with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine's Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late, and Hinamizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from the irrigation channels to the water wells and even in the rice paddies, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. The police were going to wait for daylight, then have the young men in the town help search. If after all they still hadn't found him, they were apparently even going to go looking in the mountains. Even now at the moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, and the more time passed, the only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumors of Onikakushi, of the demoning away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring every year? That scary possibility, which everybody thought about, but nobody could say aloud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, I knew. The curse did happen again this year, and there were 2 people that died. This may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I should have been a higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot into the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomotaki-san and Tanako-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been mine and Shion's turn next. This time should have been Shion and me, I laughed painfully to myself. I'd yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the first to go. Onigafuchi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police divers were plumbing into the deaths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onigafuchi, but not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish bottomless swamp from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friends that in the classroom. Now that you mention it, Satoshi-san, he left around this time last year, didn't he? Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was right. He disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly. Didn't we search the whole village like this for Satoshi-san too? We didn't find him either. What did we decide that was? A demoning away, right? Yeah. I heard he withdrew all of his savings and ran away from home. Someone from the police said that there was someone who saw him get on a bullet train at Nagoya Station. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason. But they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reason behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything. It looks like I messed up the seasoning today. Sorry. Normally, Raina would have devoured her lunch immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Raina's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though. That isn't the case. Your lunch today is as delicious as always. Satoko dips her chopsticks into Raina's bento box and pulls a bit of food out one after the other. Yes, delicious indeed. Today in particular, in fact. Chomp chomp. Huh? You know those are pumpkin croquets, right? Are you okay? Yes. If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious. Did Satoko dislike pumpkin? Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Satoko kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. If it's that good, then I guess I've gotta have some too. Satoko's gonna eat it all if we let her. It's just so good. I would certainly like it if Keiji-san were to eat some as well. Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for both of us today. She really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face. No way, you'll never grow up if you give away such good food. Raina, you eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight. Yeah, the daikon radish has such a pretty color going through it. It looks delicious. I guess I'll have some then. Raina reached out with her chopsticks, and at last the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. That was only at her desk, however. The dark tales of Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in this somber mood. Oyashiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last. What was Oyashiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So, why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheeks to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood, I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oyashiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target. Mion's taking a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash your hands? Mion had said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet. She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was up pretty late last night looking for the mayor after all. I smiled wearily and let out a sigh. Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. It was just a no good day. I had just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I do need to appreciate that. When Michan was really little, the mayor would always spoil her. When she was going through her prankster phase, he loved her like his own daughter. She's told me that often. I see. Mian was in shock, too. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew, though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward. Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while, too. Maybe they're taking a nice afternoon nap together. Rika wasn't out that late. As soon as she yawned, everyone gathered around her and started saying, "Good night, good night." Now that she mentioned it, there was a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival, too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that? Is there a reason the old people treat Rika-chan like an idol? Is she their ideal image of a granddaughter or something? I don't know anything about that, but I want to see Rika-chan yawning. It's probably like, oh, how I want to take her home. I don't personally think it's that cute. It's more like a glah. And she opens her mouth really wide so you can see the back of her throat. Her throat? The thing in her throat all wobbly? How? Rena's handy at times like these. I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh right, I'm on day duty today, aren't I? I need to go water the flower garden. The garden is right outside the teacher's lounge too, so they can immediately tell if you don't do it right. I think Satoko-chan is cute, not only Rika-chan. Oh, wow. Can't breathe. How? I got a glimpse. It was so cute. Satoko-chan's is cute too. I'm gonna take you home. Reina was squeezing her hands around Satoko's neck and was trying to get a look into her throat. You know, Reina is, I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious censored, isn't she? Sweat. Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the classroom had erupted into laughter too. Maybe Reina was doing it on purpose. Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, let's get over to the flowers while I still have the time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. But while the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big, one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also thankfully on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade, though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. For this, if one was placed on day duty with someone one liked, they do it all for you, so it'd be cake. No point in blaming her. I give up. I'll just get started. Watering can in mind, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Water that too, would you? Oh, you mean that curry vegetable garden? The one with the potatoes and carrots and other things that are only ingredients for curry? It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher, but making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. Okay, guys. And we're actually going to go ahead and take a break here. So, when we get back with next week's episode, we'll water the garden and we'll see what happens with the rest of the school day. Okay, see you later, guys. Bye.